Now, what have Australia and Germany got in common, apart from a love of beer? It's China. What happens in the world's second biggest economy impacts the pace of growth in more than any other developed nation. And both are watching closely what is currently happening there as Chinese authorities grapple with inflation and the task of managing an economy that is running like a train. Here's Emily Stewart.
The German economy is booming. Right now it's growing at its fastest pace since reunification 2 decades ago, largely fuelled by its export industry.
Germany is again what it was in the beginning, the locomotive of Europe.
But every silver lining has a cloud, and as the richest of the European nations, Germany isn't keen to bail out its weaker neighbours.
We have to address that as what it is, bankruptcy. Bankruptcy of Greece. Greece will never be in a position to pay back their loans.
Aside from sovereign debt, the other big issue facing world economies is inflation. Food and commodity prices are both soaring, and inflationary pressures are worrying the Chinese central bank. They've been raising interest rates and trying to rein in the bank's lending.
If these inflationary pressures were to intensify, a stronger policy response than seen to date would be required, and this would ultimately increase the risk of a subsequent sharp slowing in the Asian region and in the global economy.
Like Australia, Germany gets much of its export growth from China. While Australia is providing the raw materials, it's Germany that's supplying the machines for the factories as well as all those prestige cars. But Dr. Keetle says the world should be more concerned about imbalances in the global economy.
The single most important threat to the world economy, the deficit in the public budget in the US, and in the background, China financing this public budget. This leads to dependencies and political consequences which I believe may become dangerous for the world economy.
Although the Reserve Bank of Australia's concerns are much closer to home. It's upwardly revised expected inflation because of crop damage caused by widespread floods and Cyclone Yasi.
And the bank now expects CPI inflation to be around 3% over the year to June 2011, with the combined effects of the floods and the cyclone likely contributing around 0.5 percentage point to this outcome.
The RBA is also worried about the changing behaviour of Australian consumers who are spending less and saving more.
It's likely that part of this change reflects the completion of the structural adjustment to lower interest rates and changes in the financial system, but recently there also appears to have been a change in attitudes to spending.
Barring all these potential problems, Dr. Lowe predicts the Australian economy will pick up pace over the next few years.